When I first started playing this game, one of the things that occurred to me was that I had a very big issue with speed gear. I had a very big problem not getting cut my opponents a lot. And back then when I played, it was a lot easier to get into gold 4. Now it's incredibly harder, and I felt like I should target and make a video to kind of help all of you guys out. Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new Raid Shadow Legends episode. Today we will be talking about Arena as usual, and a very special episode specifically designed to help the overall player base increase in their current tier inside of Arena. So the whole idea is that once you're almost in mid-game or kind of still like towards the end of early game, you start to get your first speed booster. Some of you are lucky enough to have completed all the Arbiter missions and actually have Arbiter. For this specific testing that I'm doing here, we'll be doing it in Gold 4. And it can work all the way from bronze all the way up to gold 4 to sometimes even in lower platinum. This strategy is very viable. Huge shout out to Shankers. His video is right here. Right here. You guys can go ahead and check it out. I made it a while back. He was one of the inspirations in me making this video. And what this basically is what we're trying to do here is we're going to go ahead and put all of our very best and fastest gear on our booster. So that booster can be Apothecary, it can be Lysandra, it can be, whoever it is that you have. The purpose of this demonstration here, we're going to go and talk about Arbiter. So the Arbiter that I will be using is a 336 speed Arbiter. So what happens now is that we have a lot more resources than we did before. And the whole thing here is that to have a very fast speed, Arbiter or whatever booster that you have, and then to have everybody else be speed tuned, it's very gear intensive and it's very difficult to pull this kind of thing off in the beginning of the game and in the middle of the game. So my whole ideology here is put all your fastest gear on your booster, turn meter booster, let me be clear. And then what we want to do is we want to open up this very special place here. And we're going to call this Deadwood's website where Zombies Calculator is. I wish I had this resource before. Let me tell you, I really do. So we're simply going to go down here and we're going to pick which speed aura we have, which is going to be Arbiter. We're going to go here and we're going to click Arbiter because that's who our fastest champion is. And we're going to click here that we're going to be using her A3. We have 3 speed sets on her, and we're going to put that her speed is 336 speed. So all that we need to do here is figure out our second champion and what their speed is. So we're trying to use, for this video specifically, I do feel like Umbral Enchantress is definitely the best champion for this strategy. So this is the most important thing that you need to do. Figure out what is the speed of either Umbral Enchantress. If you don't have Umbral Enchantress, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, I'm so legendary at butchering names here. If you don't have this champion, don't stop watching the video. I have 9 other options for you. Rest assured, your boy got your back, and we're gonna make this happen. Hopefully you do have one of the other 9 champions. So this is the first step in everything. And once we have this locked in, now we can go on and talk about the champion and talk about all the different details. Okay, so you were able to put your fastest gear on your Arbiter or whatever turn meter booster you have. And now the only champion that you need to have speed tuned in Zombies Calculator would be either Umbral Enchantress, and I will go over 9 additional other options if you don't have this champion. I will explain now exactly why I selected this champion out of all champions. The first reason behind it is because she's an epic champion, so she's going to be available to more of the player base. The second reason why I selected this champion is because of her A3. The whole magic here of this is that what we're trying to do here, and this is the whole strategy idea here, is that we want to be able to have 2 champions out of the 4 champions speed tuned. The other 2 champions, which can be a defense down and a nuker, or 2 nukers, you pick whatever you want. This strategy definitely has a lot of flexibility on the last 2 champions. We'll get into all of that specific right after we talk about Umbral Enchantress and her skill base. So her main priority is to have this booked to 100%. You want her A3 to be booked to 100%, so this way she'll go ahead and provoke all the enemies for 2 entire turns. This is an incredible ability. What makes it so great on top of that is that they also place an unkillable on her. If you're facing somebody that has a very strong A1, you can rest assured that your Umbral Enchantress will not die. That's the main and only skill we're gonna use out of her kit. The reason why we're not going to use any other kit is because that's the meat and potatoes of her entire kit. Now that we covered the skills, what we want to talk about next, the masteries. When it comes to masteries, not all of you are going to have Umbral, and if you guys don't have Umbral, that whole ideology when it comes to masteries is you want as much accuracy as possible and you want to make this champion as defensive as possible. That is what you're looking at. That is the most important thing to look at. So I highlighted Eagle Eye because I wanted that extra 50% accuracy, and I made her as tanky as possible, but also taking more damage because she is on that unkillable. She does put up that unkillable, so it doesn't matter too much for her. But I would not recommend a Selfless Defender for the other 9 champions that I will let you know about later on in this video. So this covers her masteries. When it comes to her gear, what we want to try to do is push the first and most important thing, that this is like make it or break it in this strategy, is make sure that you've followed step 1 and you made her speed tuned with your turn meter booster. That is the most important thing. Now, secondary, most important is accuracy. You want to get that accuracy as high as possible. Okay, so for me, for this video, we have 464 accuracy. We have another 35 accuracy in the mastery tree. So roughly, give or take, 500 accuracy is what we have. For gold 4, this should be more than good. For platinum, it's definitely not good enough. But you just want to stockpile as much accuracy as possible. That is the most important thing. That covers the gear. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about using her in battle and how this is all going to work. So for this strategy specifically, I mentioned that I will go ahead and use my 336 speed Arbiter, which you will see right here. I will be using my Umbral. She will definitely be the only one speed tuned here. The other 2 champions that we're gonna go ahead and use is number 1, Infernal Baroness. So her job in this strategy, and I'm not diverting here, I'm just explaining to you why I'm using her. Her only purpose in here, she's level 50, she barely has any decent gear on. Her only purpose is to apply Disappear on the most talked about champion right now since the patch notes. Yes, we will be using, and I always butcher his name, Kangdrafon. There you go. So for Kangdrafon, as you can see, he is a slowpoke. He's very, very slow. He's 128 speed. I stacked up as much attack as possible. I went with Savage because any kind of nuker in Arena, you always want to go with Savage. I mean, unless, special circumstances. But yeah, don't pay too much attention to how high his attack is because I could have definitely used a defense down champion and a different nuker. But for this purpose, for this testing, this is who I will be using. And let's go ahead and get into some battles so I can show you all exactly what I'm talking about. Keep in mind, you saw that Kangdrafon is at 128 speed. So we're not sitting there sacrificing speed gear to put on him, nor are we doing it for the 3rd champion either. So we boosted churn meter. We know that all we needed was 257 speed on our Umbral, but we got her to 265. We didn't need that much. 257 would have done just perfect. Now, what we're gonna go ahead and do is use her A3. Everybody's provoked. Okay? Pretty much now we don't have a use for her. So we'll just go ahead and attack all enemies. And we'll go ahead and boost again. Now take a look here. Without defense down, what your boy can do here. Oh, we killed somebody already. He's negative affinity. Goodbye. Okay. So So that was a very easy team. Let's see if we can win the speed race here. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. And that's how it is. Sometimes you're just never gonna know if you can win with the speed race or not. Just have to try. Speed tuning is key. So let's try it here again. Okay, so we won the speed race by barely a margin. If you all didn't know, take a look at this turn meter bar up top here. This is how you can tell how much quicker your enemy is or slower than you are. We're gonna go ahead and boost. We are speed tuned. We're gonna A3. Now, know that this strategy is pretty weak to immunity teams. As you can see, this is not gonna affect Madame whatsoever. So let's go ahead and provoke. We provoked 3 out of the 4 just as expected. Madame didn't put defense down, which is fine. We're gonna go ahead and... Now notice, my Umbral is not dying, but she's locked out for 5 turns. This is why we skipped talking about her A2 and her A1. Let's take a look again without defense down at your boy, Kangdafon. 100,000, 80,000. He's a beast now. One thing to keep in mind is always take a look at what affinities, your enemy team has. Don't be afraid to press that refresh button. A lot of you are trying to get into gold just to get the Arbiter missions done, gold 4. Sometimes it's all about that patience. Keep pressing your refresh every 15 minutes and don't go against teams that are negative affinity. 2 different teams here that you definitely want to avoid with this strategy. Number 1 is going to be Tormund. You want to avoid him because your turn meter booster is going to freeze everybody else. The second team that you want to avoid is Hegemon. Pretty much. And then the third is negative affinity tanks. So for example, since I'm using Kangdafon, I don't want to go against a Duchess because Duchesses are very tanky and they revive and they're negative affinity for me. So I'm going to skip this. Let's go ahead and try out a team with a shield, which is going to definitely give us, present more challenges for us. But did you not all notice how I don't need speed anymore? That's the beauty. That really is the beauty of all of this. So once again, we won the speed race barely by a minimum. So we're going to go ahead and provoke. It worked with everybody. Here again, we don't need her because they buffed. Okay. And we will boost again. Are we gonna be able to kill anybody? Because as long as we can kill somebody, we'll go again. So let's see. Ooh, we killed Arbiter. Okay. Let's go ahead and kill Krisk. And the battle should be ours now. Hopefully. We did use our revive, which could bite us. Let's see what happens. We used our revive, her A4, just to go ahead and get a little bit more speed, which could cause a problem potentially, but it doesn't look like it will. See, now my Umbral is in a situation where she's vulnerable. So gotta keep that in mind. She could die right now. And Arbiter should be able to bring us all back after this move here. It's got a pretty decently fast Seeker. Okay. A3's back. This was a longer battle, but take a look at how she can take a hit. It's really something nice. And I know down there in the comments, you guys are going to basically say, well, you need a 330 speed Arbiter. Truth is that you just need a fast enough speed champion, for where you're at in arena. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because you don't have to sit there and split all your speed gear to make sure all of your champions are tuned. This allows you to increase your speed. And that's the whole magic sauce behind this exact strategy. So again, we have not needed to use her. He's been self-buffing himself the whole time, which is great. Pretty much like a 3-man team. So, and we didn't want to use the A4 just in case something happened here. Okay, so let's try this out again. Goodbye. 90,000 all across the board. Boost. All right. Gotta love the reliability of always knowing that she will go next because of these speed calculators. God, I wish I had these a year ago. Would have made my life so much easier. Let's go ahead and buff our Kangdafon. Oh, what happened? Did she not do it? Is there a glitch there? Okay, that was very strange. I know I used her A3. Okay, let's go ahead and buff. We'll get himself to buff. We have 2 full churns here. 2 complete full churns. And now I'm thinking maybe a good idea. I was gonna use her A4, but then I opted to chicken out. Let's see. We want to keep these guys provoked because now Valkyrie is going ahead and she will. Okay, let's see if we can turn meet her. All right, perfect. Let's see if we can go ahead and finish this team off. Okay, beauty about him is that he does go again. And that is how you do it. So, as I mentioned before, we do have 9 other champions that can do this. So let's go ahead and go over these 9 different champions that all have the same viability as far as being able to provoke at 100%. However, they're not as good of an option, I would say. Maybe one of them is. The rest of them, I would say for this particular strategy, if you have Umbral, I would say go with her first as a first option. Starting from the rare category, we have, and I'm gonna butcher his name, a Skinwalker Growlhorn. Okay. So with him, what you have to watch out for is he has an A2, and that's how he can provoke. He does not need any books. But with him, he's an HP based champ and his stats are very, very weak. So I would say if like you're really in the beginning of the game, maybe you can use this strat, but later on, he's not viable at all. But I did want to throw him out there because he is a rare and he is 100% provoke. Second one we have is going to be Rockbreaker. He also does not need any books. His A2 will work with 100% provoke, and he's in the Dwarfs faction. Next one is going to be a newly buffed champion, Senecio. A3, but we do need a whole lot of books on this guy. Moving on from epics, we will go to legendaries. The first legendary on my list would be someone none other than Martyr. Her A3 does not need any books, and you can definitely find her in the Sacred Order. Another option, which is a great option that a lot of you will have because she was a past fusion, would be Molly. Her A2 does not require any books to be at 100% provoke, and you can find her in the Dwarfs faction. Coming up next as the last standard legendary. This legendary is absolutely incredible. Now, he is going to have one up on everybody else that I mentioned on this list, and his name is Nethro from the Undead Horde faction. His A3 does not require any books. The reason why he has one up on everybody else is because he does not cast provoke. Instead, he reduces the turn meter of everyone by 75%. So if you're going against a team that has all immunity, have no fear, because he's not going to be going ahead and dealing with somebody that has an immunity set. So that's one huge advantage that Nethro has. We will go into the Void legendaries. There's a 3 in total that can do this as well. We have Coronar from Skinwalker. His A2 does need books, but then he's also very viable. He has very good stats. Next, coming up, an incredible champion, Krisk. His A3 does not need books, and you can find him in the Lizardmen. And last but not least, Soulless. Don't need books on his A3, and you can find him in the Night Revenant. So that's pretty much how this strategy works. Again, to summarize everything, you're gonna go ahead and put all your fastest speeds on the first champion, and then make sure that the second champion, which has got to be one of these 10 champions, is going to be speed tuned using Zom's calculator. And from then on, you have all the flexibility and freedom to choose to use any other champions that you have built, any of them. Speed is no factor whatsoever. The only thing that you have to kind of gauge is that, do you want to use a defense down? Make sure that defense down character champion goes ahead of your nuker. But you can also, it's very viable to just use 2 nukers with this strategy. So thank you again so much for tuning in. I'm beyond blessed. We hit 2,000 members in my Discord. We have so many moderators now, so many people helping us out, making the community absolutely amazing. If you have questions about this strategy or about any strategy, if you're trying to climb up to Gold 4 and you're having issues, come to my Discord, come join us. We'll help you as best as we can. Tag a surgeon and we'll definitely help you out. A huge thank you for hitting 6,000 subs. Means the world. It keeps inspiring me to keep going on and on. You know, there's a lot of work going on in the back end here. Huge shout out to my partner Grim. He's making all this happen. Without you, man, we can't make any of this. So really appreciate you. Really appreciate all the moderators. And last but not least, a huge shout out to my boy Boomer69. I will link his YouTube channel down below. As much as I finish top 5, top 4, top 6, whatever you call it in Arena, I never ever stop learning. And this man right here just helped me out significantly, making my offense team significantly stronger than it was before. So I'm ever so grateful for everything you've done. Hope you guys can go ahead and subscribe to his channel. He is, just beginning, and we're a strong community here, and we're all about helping each other out. I would love to see this man get to 1,000 subs so he can join the content creator program and be, another voice for us, another voice to help make this game go in a better direction. So thank you again one more time, and I hope you all have a wonderful week.